What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here for another episode of Player Ratings as Tottenham battered West Ham at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium yesterday, which I thought was a really good performance, really good win, and a really important win as well. But let's get into the player rating. Let's start off with Hugo Lloris. Sim gives him a 6. I gave him a 7. And yeah, I actually thought he played well. It wasn't that much tested, to be fair. I thought he made one important save after about half an hour, 35 minutes. And then I thought his assist, well, his pre-assist for I think it was the third goal, absolutely unbelievable kick up the pitch. It really was, because you don't really see Hugo making that sort of distribution week in, week out. I thought it was brilliant.
Really?
I really did, yeah.
Interesting.
All the way up the pitch, and then it got into Heung-min Son, and then he eventually finished it off. For the goal, maybe he could have done a bit better with, but I thought, all in all, I thought it was a good display. And there was one as well, corner, at a very important moment of the game, which he came out and claimed for. So I thought it was a good performance for Hugo Lloris.
Yeah, that was the moment where everyone got nervous, because West Ham had nothing pretty much the whole second half, or most of the second half, and then they finally get a corner out of nothing, but Hugo thankfully dealt with it for us. I think it was a very quiet day. I don't remember too much he had to do. I guess it was a decent kick up the pitch, but I don't think there was anything special about it. I think, if anything, West Ham defenders will be angry that they let that go through. But I guess he did get it to Kane. Kane headed it on and we scored, so fair play for that. But yeah, I don't remember too many saves he had to make. I think it was a quiet day. I think they didn't have a shot on target all game, didn't they? No. So, yeah, I don't remember any shot.
One save, pretty much.
But if they didn't have a shot on target, how can they have a save?
They had one, I think.
I read they didn't have any.
Oh, maybe.
Maybe they had one. Or the one that was the one they scored, probably.
Maybe. I did remember him making a save in the first half, but anyway.
Yeah, I don't remember any. But I think it was a pretty solid day. Didn't have too much to do.
All right, let's move on to Matt Doherty. 7s all round from us. He was the one that won the ball high up the pitch to go on to score our first goal, which was good work from him. Obviously, he was tiny bit at fault. Well, he was at fault for the goal that we let in as well. He's the one that gave away the corner, and also maybe should have done a bit better in the air from Craig Dawson's flick on. But apart from that, I thought he played well. He was getting up and down the pitch really well. Defensively, I thought he did everything asked of him pretty much, and he was causing a nuisance going forward. And then even when he got switched to the left-hand side in the latter stages of the game, I thought that he was still getting up the pitch well.
Yeah, he's starting to be a consistent performer for now, Doherty. I think it was another fairly decent performance. Yeah, he didn't do great with the corner. Probably should have seen it out. I think from the corner, if you actually watch it closely, he's actually a bit unlucky because he does get a head on it, but his flick goes right into Dawson, and obviously ends up to falling to Benrahma. But he actually gets to the header first, so he's a bit unlucky from that aspect. Yeah, I think he had a decent game. He didn't do too much in terms of, setting chances up. But again, he's got a nice relationship with Kulusevski, doesn't he? I think down the right hand side, they understand each other. Their passing and movement is much better when Doherty's there than when Emerson's there. So that was a big positive. Masuaku had to get taken off because he couldn't get any joy out of Doherty. So good day.
Yeah. Let's move on to Cristian Romero. Sim gives him a 9. I gave him an 8. And yeah, it was an absolutely sensational display from Kuti yesterday. Pocketed Antonio completely for the whole game. I thought Antonio pretty much didn't have a sniff apart from that chance where he blazed it over the bar. And I thought it was just one of his best performances in a Spurs shirt. I thought the way he was coming out in front of the defenders, the way he was wrapping his leg around the defenders to win the ball. I mean, I thought he literally mopped up everything that came his way. And yeah, he didn't get forward as much as he has done in the past couple of weeks, but defensively he was absolutely on point.
Yeah, and they must be sick of the sight in West Ham after yesterday, because he was a complete nuisance for all their attackers. Antonio was getting no joy out of him. And then once Yarmolenko came on, it was easy for him to completely bully Yarmolenko. At least Antonio was a bit of a challenge, but he was coming out on top every time. Once Yarmolenko came on, he had him for dinner pretty much night and day. Fornals, Benrahma, doesn't really matter who came at him. Romero was coming out on top. I think didn't lose any duels at all. I can remember. And the one time he did make a mistake, he made up for it himself by chasing back Benrahma and winning the ball. So brilliant display. And again, there was that one moment as well. He's like,
corner flag.
Yeah, he's in the corner, he's in trouble, and he manages to play his way out of trouble and start another attacking move. And it just shows the class he has. And which the more we see, and the more I think we're lucky to have him, because he's getting better and better, and he's exactly what we need.
Absolutely. Let's move on to his defensive partner, or one of his defensive partners, in Eric Dier. Sim gives him an 8. I gave him a 7. Again, I thought it was a really strong display from Eric Dier, and kind of getting used to these performances now. Maybe that's reflected in the ratings, why I didn't give him such a high rating. But look, he didn't put a foot wrong for the whole game. He was aerially strong. Again, Antonio couldn't get any spare change out of Eric Dier. I thought another really good display from Dier yesterday.
He tried to with an elbow, though, didn't he?
He tried to.
He did try to. I was a bit disgraceful, I thought. And there was one moment where Dier slightly got caught. It was just after we scored. Kane kind of gave the ball away, and Antonio spun him a bit. And it was a bit his fault because he kind of maybe dived in too early. Antonio spun him and then shot just wide. But I think other than that, he was pretty much faultless. Another really great display. Led the line brilliantly. And interesting to hear from him after the game, saying he feels he's playing his best football and this is his best season in a Tottenham shirt. Do you agree with him?
Yeah, and I think it's, I do agree, first of all, and I think it's very contrasting to, this time last year where he was coming under a lot of criticism. He was saying, oh, maybe I'm not playing as badly as people think and stuff like that, where he was, because he was making mistakes week in, week out. But I completely agree with him this time, for sure.
Yeah, and it's good. It's, why is he not in the England squad based on how he's playing?
I'm happy he's not in the England squad, to be fair.
Yeah, but he should be, shouldn't he?
Yeah.
Definitely ahead of Connor Cody right now.
Oh, Connor Cody got in, did he?
Yeah.
I think he should be in there ahead of Connor Cody and ahead of Guehi. I know Guehi's playing really well at the moment, but I still think Eric Dier's performing at a higher level than him.
You reckon he'll go to the World Cup?
He should do. I think he should do. But again, also with this international break, it is only 2 friendlies.
True.
So they are trying to bed in some new players too.
All right.
Let's go on to Ben Davies. Sim gives him an 8. I gave him a 7. Again, I thought it was completely faultless display from Ben Davies on the left of a back 3. Mopped up everything that came his way. Again, like Akuti, didn't get forward too much, but really good display. Nothing much really to add on it.
Yeah, he just stayed in his position. I think again, once we were building from the back, I think he's quite a nice progressive passer when given the opportunity. I think again he showed it on a few occasions yesterday. I thought defensively didn't have too much to do really. I know who they have up front. They had Benrahma, Antonio, and can't remember who the other one they had up front was. They're the 3, but. He pretty much Fornals. I think Fornals came on, didn't he? I can't remember who the other one. That's how anonymous they were. I can't remember who it was. Oh, Lanzini. Oh, yeah. They pretty much had them in his. Yeah, he had Lanzini completely in his pocket throughout the whole game, and he didn't have too much to do really down that side. And it was just his job to make sure Spurs weren't vulnerable at the back, and that was right.
Absolutely. Let's move on to Sergio Reguilon. Sim gives him a 7. I gave him a 6. What's going on? I'm like 1 mark below you in every rating today.
Maybe
I don't know what's going on. But anyway, with Reguilon, he always gets the opponent asking questions of where he's going to be, always occupying that space, always getting himself free in the middle of the box, which are the good marks. But he's just got to improve this quality in the final third. He just seems indecisive and erratic in the final third, and again he could have had a couple of goals yesterday, as he could have done in the previous game against Brighton. But on the flip side of that, I think that he does well to get into those positions, and look, he is playing well at the moment, but I just think that he just needs to improve his end product, and then we'll see a really much improved player.
Yeah, and I don't deny that. I think he deserves more credit for always being like, whenever Kane's on the ball, and he's always at that option, just streaming down the left-hand side into space. And that's very, very important, because even if he's not picked out, he's at least there occupying defenders to leave space for the likes of Kane and Son to find another option. But more often than not, he is being found, and he is getting into the final third or even into the penalty area. But you're right, his finishing and his output needs to improve massively if he's going to become the top-class left-back that he hopes to be, or left wing-back anyway. He can be a top-class left-back without it, but left wing-back, that's in Conte's system. That's what he needs to develop, and I hope he does. But if you look as the game goes on, it just looks increasingly like it's never going to get much better. But at least he's not looking vulnerable going back, and then he's looking really dangerous going forward. And that's good. At least that's positive. So let's hope that keeps going the right direction.
Let's move on to our Viking, Pierre-Emile Hojbjerg, 8 all round from us. Finally, we do the same rating. But no, I think I've made my feelings very much known about what I think about Hojbjerg recently, and yesterday was just another extension of that. I thought him and Bentancur in the middle are really thriving in this way they're playing together, and I think. Again, another really good display, combative in the middle, and he also had his passing on show yesterday as well with that lovely over-the-top ball to Harry Kane. Just a really good display, and when he's in this kind of form, he's so hard to deal with, and that was shown again yesterday.
Yeah, another really good performance from Hojbjerg, who's really starting to get that consistency back in his game. And I think him and Bentancur have really developed a special, not special, but very good partnership. Might be turning into be special by the end of the season, but really, really special for the time being. And that one pass as well to Kane, he was robbed of an assist because Kane usually buries those chances every night and day. And what a pass it was, clipped into him, little delicate dink. And it shows that he does have quality to pick out a pass out.
He's done a few passes like that over the course of the season.
And I think his long-range passing as well is one of the best in the team when he's on point, and he can be very, very consistent with that, and he's proven that. I think people look at sometimes the erratic side of his passing game and come up with the conclusion that this guy is not very good at passing, but I think he's starting to prove time and time again that he does have a good pass in his locker when given the opportunity.
Absolutely. And let's move on to Bentancur. Sim gives him a 9, I gave him an 8, and you know what, probably 9 is a bit more fair for this game, because I thought he was absolutely brilliant yesterday. I really did. He was everywhere. He was literally everywhere. The old saying going to come back, covering every blade of grass, because I think that's exactly what he did yesterday. In front of our box, he was cool, calm, silky, combative, a calming presence as well. There was that one moment where we all had our hands in our mouth where he so delicately took it past 2 West Ham players on the edge of our area, which everyone had their hearts in their mouths, but he had other ideas and was just like, wow. Anyway, his passing range was on show yesterday as well. The way he started attacks for us, I think, was it the first goal or the second goal? He made a really nice pass into the attacking line, which set us on our way. And you know what? Him and Hojbjerg, with that kind of a relationship that they're having in the middle, they really, really complement each other. And it's going to be interesting to see when Skip comes back to see what happens. But right now, these two players have the shirt, and it doesn't look like anyone's going to take either of them out of the team.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, as you say, his composure is nearly unrivaled in our team at the moment. He's he makes you nervous, but I think the more we're starting to see him, the calmer we're becoming with him in those type situations, because he has the ability to get out of them. As you say, the second goal, what a brilliant pass to Harry Kane to break the lines, to open up the space, and obviously Kane has the quality to pick out Sonny. I thought all day he had Rice and Souček in their pockets. Souček, I don't remember doing anything the whole game. At least Rice had a few moments, but Souček was completely anonymous. And I think Bentancur just bullied them, him and Hojbjerg, and I thought it was an exceptional display from Bentancur. I don't think he gave the ball away like once or maybe very, very few times, even from passing. And him and Hojbjerg, what I also like about them is they both seem to be quite good at going forward and going back as well, kind of box to box. They can kind of take it in turns, and I'm starting to really like that about them. So they're developing a very good understanding, and Conte seems to trust him a lot.
Yeah. And so he should with the performances he's putting in. Kulusevski, 7s all round from us, but another good display from Kulu at his. He's just so creative, isn't he? I mean, everything that he does is with in mind to creating something for Tottenham Hotspur, and you saw that yesterday with his lovely 1-2s with Harry Kane, his back heels that were making a nuisance of themselves. I mean, the guy, every time he has the ball, you're excited and you expect something to happen, and more or less something does happen when he's on the ball. And he made it really hard for the West Ham players to deal with him at times. And not only does he do that on the ball, but also he creates space for the other players to strut their stuff as well. So this front three is really flourishing now.
Yeah, and he's just on the right-hand side. He's so hard to deal with. Cresswell a few times got absolutely turned and even burned for pace, and very unlucky not to get an assist after he lays it on a plate for Sonny, who hits the post. That was probably his best moment of the game. But I thought, in terms of ball retention, in terms of understanding in the final third, he's such a credit to himself, and it was another solid performance for Kulusevski. It wasn't maybe his best of late, but definitely wasn't bad.
Let's move on to Harry Kane. Sim gives him a 9. I gave him an 8. And it was an unbelievable display from Harry Kane. Really, really top level. He should have had a couple of goals on the day, to be fair, where he just fluffed his lines a couple of times. But I thought he was actually a key player as to why we won that midfield battle yesterday. He was dropping deep and being an extra man in the middle of the park there, where West Ham really couldn't deal with the midfield yesterday. And not only that, but he was creative as well. Obviously laid on 3 assists yesterday, with all 3 of our goals coming through him. The only downside of his performance yesterday that he didn't get on the score sheet.
Yeah, and he'll probably be kicking himself because he had some really good chances, especially the one which Hojbjerg set up for him. He definitely should have scored that. I think the one where Son played him in the second half, the angle was pretty tight. It would have been a difficult finish there. But I think the one that Hojbjerg definitely set up for him, he'll be angry he didn't score. But, you know, again, unplayable, especially when he comes deep. The passes are just incredible. The first goal, obviously, the across the face of goal, causing havoc, making Zoom put it into his own net. Second goal, unbelievable through ball to Sonny. How he picks that one out. It's so much. He makes it look easy, but it's so much harder than it looks to find that pass in between a few defenders and into space for Sonny, which he did a few times, by the way. That kind of pass, which Sonny didn't make the most of it in the second half. And obviously the header, which looks a lot harder. You know, when you got Dawson and Zuma challenging a header with you, 2 of the best headers of the ball in the Premier League, aerially, like that's very, very difficult to contend with. Yeah, he made sure he got to that ball first because he knew if he got there, someone was going to be through on goal, and he did so well to win that header, and obviously that helped us wrap it up. And I thought after that as well, he very nearly set up Bergwijn and a few others for more chances. So I thought it was just a menace all day. And yeah, for me, if he would have got a goal, goes up to a 10. But seeing as he didn't score that elusive goal, I'll just give him the 9.
Okay. Let's move on to Heung-min Son. 9s all round from us, and this was Sonny really back at it yesterday. Obviously got 2 goals. First one was a deflection, but it was still a really nice finish that found the roof of the net. Second one got played through from Harry Kane, and Son didn't have to be asked twice. He absolutely got bearing down in the goal and finished as clinically as he does. But again, should have had more goals. Obviously, he had his hand in the first goal as well, making a nuisance of himself, and Kurt Zouma puts it in the back of his own net. And there was another chance as well where he gets played through on goal, and he really should have done better where he hits the post from. But I thought he was a nuisance to West Ham's defence all day long. He was direct with his running, tireless running as well, in coming back in defence into the midfield and up front. So I mean, it was really hard for Southampton. It was really hard for West Ham to deal with him, and really good display. And I think it's Sonny's best display for a while.
Yeah, and he was looking sharp again, and obviously he got lucky, maybe a bit lucky with the first finish, but his movement got him into that position. Brilliant movement, and although a bit of deflection, still a good strike to get into the top corner, and then which obviously followed, that was just after a miss, which a bit behind him, but he could only turn it onto the post. He was very unlucky with that. He'll probably be annoyed with that. But the second half, I thought he was our biggest threat. Constant menace on the breakaway. Whenever Bentancur or Hojbjerg winning the ball, Sonny was the first one you're looking at, and he was the one on the charge. I think he got fouled, which got Dawson picked up a booking as well. He played in Kane, who could have done better with a strike on the inside the box. I thought he was brilliant, and once he went through for that in the last minute, everyone was confident he was going to go and score because he can make that kind of difference. And now that's 13 Premier League goals this season. I think only Salah has more goals and assists, and it's another brilliant game for him. And it should just go to show, even in his off period or with off form, 9 goals and 4 assists in the last 15 Premier League games. You can't argue with that. It doesn't matter how bad you think he's playing. You can't argue with that.
Yeah. And what else you can't argue with is Mr. Antonio Conte. Sim gives him a 9. I gave him an 8. And yeah, I mean, we really are starting to look like a Conte side now. I think that all we need now is like 2 real wing backs that can really contribute in the final third, and then I think will be full blown Antonio Conte. But I think the way he's got the team playing, the amount of chances we're creating every game, especially in this game, the way he's got Kane back on side, Sonny back firing with Kulusevski as well into the mix, the way he's got the two central midfielders partnering the way they do, and Doherty, how he's got him playing as well. I mean, look, the whole thing is unbelievable. He's got Eric Dier playing at the highest level he's been playing at in his Spurs career. So I mean, absolutely unbelievable the way he's got this team playing from where they were a couple of months ago. You got to say that. In his press conference, he was alluding to saying that he would like to see us come up against the Chelsea side now to see how we would fare. But you got to give complete credit to the way he's managed this side, the way he's got us through that rut and coming out the other side, looking at the top four now. Some people saying that we might even be favourites for the top four. I don't really think so, but I think that people are saying it. So that's credit to Antonio Conte. The thing is, though, on yesterday's game, I would say that West Ham's tiredness after their Thursday night against Seville really did play a factor. But you can't really take too much away from Antonio and the team yesterday because it was a really good performance.
Yeah, I felt we took full advantage of that, and I don't know if you planned for it, but we seem to play a bit differently than we usually do in terms of having a bit more possession maybe and making West Ham chase the ball a bit. I think West Ham actually tried to put us under pressure early doors, but just failed miserably, and I think we exploited them massively, all the space they left. I think Kane and Son are getting that partnership back, which maybe at the beginning of the season had gone away a bit, and I think it was another brilliant display. And he's got this team playing really well. In the past few games, four wins in 5 now. The fact that we're even in touching distance and still within a very decent shout of top 4 goes to show what a great job he's done. And also, you just look on the pitch and you just see exactly what we need to make sure that to see this team go up a level. You can see it. Everyone can see another wing back in it who can actually make a difference in the final third, and this team would skyrocket, would fly. And that goes to show how the system that Conte is implementing is really starting to work a treat for us. And even with the players that we have, he's getting the best out of them, and he's getting them to everyone buying into his system, and we're starting to get results now. And West Ham, even though they play on Thursday night, they're no mugs. They're not an easy team to play against, but we made it look very, very easy. And now, we've got good fixtures. Let's hope we really give it a good go in the last 9 games.
Yeah, and everyone was kind of talking about the start of this game yesterday. Before coming into it, we were like, we need to score early. We need to impose our dominance early and make West Ham do all the running. That's exactly how it played out. Got 2 early goals, and West Ham really couldn't deal with us yesterday. So credit to Antonio, credit to the team. We're back in this top 4 race, and it looks like we could be here to stay until the end of the season. Let's hope we can go and grab it. But it is international break now. Maybe it has come at the wrong time, as Antonio did say in his press conference. But that is our player ratings for the 3-1 win against West Ham. Let me know in the comment section below what you think of our ratings, and put your ratings in the comment section below. Like, subscribe and comment. And as always, come on you Spurs.